Hi Ricky, how are you doing?
I'm good, Sarjeet. How are you?
Good, good. Great show, like a lot of people, a lot of foot traffic here. First time the booth.
That's right.
For
yeah,
you guys.
Yeah, super exciting.
I heard that it was great response. So, anything new you guys are announcing here, or like any partnerships, or the products, and what's happening? How do you see the show?
Yeah, absolutely. So we made a couple of announcements. We announced our data engineer called Orion, which is an agentic AI-based data pipeline assistant. So what it does is it helps teams create data pipelines very easily, as well as get insights from all the data they are collecting from a data lake. We also announced a couple of partnerships. So we announced a partnership with Google, where we can help accelerate Google customers within their security journey as well. And the show is great, and as you can imagine, it's all about AI. I'm sure you see this as well.
Yeah.
But it's a great show, a lot of energy, a lot of activity.
Yeah, for the folks who are listening about your company for first time, what's the elevator pitch?
Yeah, so we are an AI data pipeline. What we do is we sit between various sources of data. We collect all the security data, we optimize and refine the data, and then we send it to a destination, which typically tends to be a SIEM solution or a log tool or observability platform. And the key value proposition is being able to take all the data, deliver the right data at the right time in a much more optimized fashion, which helps with threat detection, so fastening up threat detection, lower MTTI, MTTD, as well as, in a much more cost-efficient fashion.
Awesome. Is this a new category per se, this data pipeline or data reduction or data purification for the reasons what we know why, because the data volume is increasing? Is it a new category, or it was always? I know problem was always there, but it was like smaller problem. Now It's getting bigger and bigger. How do you see
you're
it?
absolutely spot on. So it is a new category, and the reason is the data volumes were very low. And for the last few years, data volume has increased tremendously, right? Typically what happens is teams, security teams, they take this data, they throw this data directly into a SIEM tool like a Splunk, which causes a huge cost burden, but also the data, because of all the noise, it's not very effective, right? So teams have, the security teams have tried to solve this in enterprises using, various tools, various open source agents, things like Kafka, etc., queuing mechanisms, but they don't scale, right? They are very ineffective because they're mostly just routing data from point A to point B, right? So what we do, for instance, is we use AI to really take out the signal out of that data and make it much more effective.
That was my actually next question. How you're using AI? Are you using any your own trained models, or are you taking a model and then shrinking it or distilling it? How do you do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we use AI in two different ways. One is we use machine learning. So we have built our own machine learning models. What they do is they derive the patterns from the data, and then they make recommendations in terms of data optimization as well as data enrichment.
Okay.
So that's machine learning. And then we also use Gen AI. What we have done is we have taken a couple of models out there, and we have really tailored those models to our usage, because what we deal primarily is the telemetry data. So it's your logs, your events, your metrics, and all of that stuff, right? So we took that data and we really tailored it, we customized it so that can be effective with that data set.
Awesome. So this domain for a while. You have worked with other vendors which did similar stuff, right? So where's the most of the data coming from? Is it that developers are logging like crazily or into their logs? Right? There are different log levels, as we know, and you can set the log levels and all that stuff. So where's the most of the data coming from? Is that machine generated, or is it the problem is being caused by developers, or
That's a great
what's
question.
the main source of data?
Yeah. So it's actually a combination. So it's data being emitted from all of the different security tools.
Yeah.
So case in point, a firewall, right, that emits a lot of data, or a WAF system or a CDN, etc. But increasingly, with all the digital transformation from a few years ago, we also have a lot of application and service logs being generated. The new kid on the block is AI, which is generating way more data. So now the data volumes are 10x from what we saw, literally 3 or 4 years ago. So those models generate a bunch of observability and telemetry, so you can actually track the performance, accuracy, things like are they hallucinating or not, and so on and so forth. So this layer, our layer really helps make sense of that data.
That's awesome. Yeah, actually, as we know that what Gen AI is, actually, it's compressed knowledge, right? After the model is trained, it's the highest level of compression with knowledge in it. And then what it needs is to sort of live is more data, and the data has to be in good quality, and we can't just throw any data at it. I mean, otherwise you will be sort of misusing your GPU resources while you're training it, and or you're looking at the
That's right. Yeah.
SOC and everything, all the things you do in security, right?
Yeah. It's
So I think to mitigate that problem of overspending and causing confusion to the people who are looking at these SOCs, and that's actually what we are trying to solve in this new category. Ricky, thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, have a great rest of the show.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.